Okay, the next assignment is going to seem kind of mindless, but here's what you're going to do. It says write an equation of a line with the given slope and given point. Now what you're doing, you're not graphing, okay? You're not graphing. What you need to do is come up with the equation. That's what we started with when we graphed on the assignment 3A, okay? So again, we come up with that. Okay, here's the best way to do it, okay? Example 1. Negative 1, 6, and slope equals 5. First off, make an equals, and you're going to have y by itself. When you're doing slopes, your y has to be by itself. Then you're going to make blank x plus blank. What is that? This is called the m variable blank. That's your b. Now, circle that. That's the answer, but you got to put numbers in here. Here's how you figure out what numbers go in here. Write m, write b. Remember what these stand for. M stands for the slope. B stands for the y-intercept. Now my slope, they tell us, my slope is 5, okay? And you don't need to put a 1 under it because you don't have to graph it. You can just go ahead and put 5. Well, that's easy enough. B is a little bit more complicated. You have to always write this next thing I'm going to write on every problem. Y equals m times x plus b. Y equals mx plus b, but mx means m times x. Now you are solving for b. You need to cross out the y, the m, and the x. Now you got to put numbers in for those. Now your m is the 5. Your x and y is this coordinate point. So you put 6 for the y, and then you need to write times negative 1 right there. So now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm actually going to write the b down first. And then 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, so it's minus 5. So what's the opposite of minus 5? Again, I'll re-explain how I write that. Write your b down first, okay? Then you take 5 times negative 1, that's negative 5. So if it's negative, you write minus 5. If it was 5, I would write plus 5. And then you just plus 5, and 11 equals b. Or b equals 11, however you want to put 11. That's the answer to the problem. That this is your answer right here. Y equals 5x plus 11. Okay. Example 2. We have 2, negative 3. We're doing the same thing on these next 3 problems. Slope equals 7. Put xy over that. That's what that means. It means in the equation that if x is 2, y has to equal negative 3 in the equation. Okay, m is my slope, and b is my y-intercept. Now my slope, again, they tell me is 7. Okay, so I put a 7 there. And then for b, you always got to write y equals m times x plus b every time. And you're solving for b, it means the other letters we got to put numbers in. So my m is 7. For my y and x, y is negative 3, and x is 2. So we have negative 3, line up your equals. Then write the b first, then find what 7 times 2 is. 7 times 2 is 14. It's positive 14, so I write plus 14 this time. Okay? If it's positive, you write plus. Negative, you're going to write minus. Then minus 14. So negative 3 minus 14 is negative 17 equals b. That's your answer. Okay, example 3. Got negative 8, 1. Slope, negative 3 force, okay? I don't think I put any fractions on your assignment because I don't know if you have a calculator that can do that. Y equals blank x plus blank, so MB. Okay, remember M is the slope, which they tell me is negative 3/4, so that's cool. And then B, you have to use this in conjunction with this in the Y equals M times X plus B equation. You're solving for B. So your M is negative 3/4. Okay, negative 3/4. Then Y is 1, X is negative 8. Remember, you got it, yep. Sorry, I'm jabbering. Now I take negative 3, ABC 4 times negative 8. That's 6. It's positive 6, so I'm going to write B plus 6. And I minus 6 from both sides, and 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Okay, example 4. 8, negative 4. That's a negative 4. And slope of negative 3. Okay, so the slope is negative 3. And again, B is Y equals M times X plus B. Okay, so my M is negative 3, I know that much, and then the X and Y is this coordinate. So negative 4 is Y, and then times 8. Negative 24, so that's going to be B minus 24. So you'll see the minus, so you'll know you have to add. Negative 4 plus 24 is 20. 20 equals B, B equals 20. It doesn't matter how you write it, but that's the answer right there. Okay, example 5, we're doing the same thing, but now it says write an equation of a line that passes through the 2 points. So in this equation, if I would put 4 in for x, then y equals 7. If I put 5 in for x, y equals 1. There's just one extra thing we have to do here. And that is figure out the slope, because they don't tell us what the slope is. We don't know what to put there yet. When I do not know the slope, I use y minus y divided by x minus x. Okay? We did that in the last assignment a few weeks ago. Now, I usually pick the second point. Pick the point that's got the higher x value. You got 4 or 5, we'd go with this one first. Okay, let's put 5 on the bottom, 1 on the top. You put your x on bottom, the y on top. Then the 4 on bottom, the 7 on top. So 1 minus 7 is negative 6, and 5 minus 4 is 1. Just divide that, okay? When you're doing this, just divide it. Even if it's a decimal, divide it. So negative 6. Now B, you're still using the same way to get your B. Y equals M times X plus B. So my M is the negative 6. I just figured that out. Okay, negative 6. What I just got here is my M. And then use the 5, 1. You can use that. It doesn't matter which one you use. I usually use the second one, so we put 1 in for Y and then 5 in for X. So line up your equals, and you got B. That's what you're solving for. And you need to take negative 6 times 5. Negative 30, so it's B minus 30. And we plus 30 to both sides. 1 plus 30 is 31. 31 equals B. And that's your answer. Y equals negative 6x plus 31. Okay, example number 6. You've got, oh shit, didn't mean to do that. 0, 6, and 5, 2. Remember, this is where the answer's at. We have to find our slope, because we don't have that, and our y-intercept. So the slope, y minus y, x minus x. Okay, you got xy, xy. Now compare the x's. You have 0 and 5, so I'd start here. Okay. We put 2 on top, 5 on bottom. It's always that way. The y's have to go on top. Then 6 on top and 0 on bottom. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. 5 minus 0 is 5. Okay, because I don't know if you have a calculator that can do fractions, just take negative 4 divided by 5 and just use the decimal. Okay, just divide it. Negative 0.8. Now, if I had to graph this, I would want the negative 4/5 instead of that, but that's okay. Okay, just you do the decimal here today. Y equals m times x plus b. So the m is negative 0.8. And then I'll put 2 over the y and 5 over the x. So line that up. You got 2. Put your b down. And then you're either going to add or subtract from the b, depending on if you get a positive or negative. So it's going to be negative, so you're going to minus 4. Okay? Then you just add 4. The opposite of minus 4 is add 4. So 2 plus 4 equals b, 6 equals b. Okay, that's my answer. Y equals negative 0.8x plus 6. Okay, example 7. Negative 2, 5, 2, negative 1. Okay, so M, B, M's the slope and B's the y-intercept. Okay, compare your x's. You have negative 2, positive 2. We want to go with that one first. 2 on bottom, negative 1 on top. Then 5 on top, negative 2 on bottom. Okay, negative 1 minus 5. I got negative 6. 2 minus negative, when you have that minus with a negative after it, make it plus plus, because that's the same as 2 plus 2, which is 4. And then just divide that. Remember, divide it, don't multiply it. That line means you divide it, negative 1.5. Okay, then b, y equals m times x plus b. Okay, so the m is the negative 1.5 I just came up with, and then x, y is negative 1, and then times 2. So I take negative 1.5 times 2, I got negative 3. Or put b, so since you got negative 3, it's minus 3. Then you add 3. So 2 equals b, and there you go. Okay, example 8. Last assignment here. Negative 4, negative 8, negative 8, negative 11. Okay, M, B. So M is the slope, B is the y-intercept. So I have -4, -8. -4 is bigger than -8. I'm actually going to start here. I'll put -8 on top, -4 on bottom. Then I'll put -11 on top, -8 on bottom. -8 minus -11, that, again, with the minus in the middle and then the negative after it, that's plus plus, and the same with that, okay? So -8 plus 11 is 3, and -4 plus 8 is 4. Use your calculator if that's confusing to you, how that is. 0.75, you need to divide the top by the bottom. It's always top, by the way, to divide, it's always the top divided by the bottom. Not 4 divided by 3, that's wrong, okay? It's got to be 3 divided by 4. As you just saw, it matters the order you punch the division in. So 0.75 is your M. Now, if I had to actually graph that, I'd use 3/4, okay? But I don't. If you can just do this, I'd be thrilled. Y equals M times X plus B. So the M is 0.75. And then you can use this or this. Again, I usually use the second one, -11 and -8. So you got -11, then write your B on the other side. Find the product, 0.75 times -8, so it's that means B minus 6. Then you would add 6. So -11 plus 6, -5. Okay, that's it. Let me know, email me if you got problems or whatnot.